Stamford Bridge under the lights with a Champions League quarter-final place up for grabs. They do not get bigger than this. The Blues lead 1-0 on aggregate against Atletico Madrid tonight. It's going to be a good one. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Matchday Live. Happy St. Patrick's Day as well, of course. I'm joined by Jason Cundy, Pat Nevin and Zach Jellab. Boys, I think we're all feeling the same kind of nervous excitement that goes along with big Champions League nights. Jace, this is what they're about, but at the same time, this feeling doesn't get any easier, does it?
I'm not going to enjoy the 90 minutes, and hopefully it will be 90 minutes. And if there is an extra half an hour, I'll enjoy that even less. The carrot of the quarterfinals has been dangled in front of us, and that's, we've got something to lose now. Look, if you had offered me 1-0 3 weeks ago, and we go into this game 1-0 up, I'd rip your arm off. Now we've got it, and the Champions League quarterfinals is you can kind of almost smell it. There's something to lose, and I've got that feeling, that dreadful feeling of knowing how that disappointment feels like. So I'm between two stones right now. One, I'd rather be in the position we're in, obviously, and two, knowing what that feeling could be like. We haven't reached the quarterfinals since 2014. So this is a big game for us. Massive, massive game for us. Just the first goal is crucial. Absolutely crucial, boys. Crucial.
Let's put you out of your misery, Jay, because I know we're all very anxiously awaiting Ben's pitch side for us at Stamford Bridge. Ben, have you got some team news for us?
I have. Can you see me okay?
Yes, mate. All good.
Good, because my phone seems to think that you can't. But okay. Am I vaguely in the middle of the shot?
You're bang on, mate. You're spot on.
Do I look okay? Right, loads of changes. Loads. 5 of them. And some surprising ones. Mendy is in goal. Reece James is back in. Kurt Zouma is in. There's no Andreas Christensen at all. I tried to do a bit of digging on that in the last 10 minutes. No one seems to know why he trained yesterday. They had their tests on Thursday morning. Not Thursday morning, the day before that, whatever day that was, Monday morning. So he couldn't have trained yesterday if he'd had a positive test. But anyway, so Zouma's in for him. Marcos Alonso's in. Kovacic, we knew about, is in there with Kanté. And the front three, Ziyech, Havertz and Timo Werner, not Olivier Giroud. And we were all talking prior to this that Giroud would be the one. There is just a little whisper that he's a bit under the weather. And that is why.
Right. Okay. Pat, I mean, because that was going to be my first question, was this is Olivier Giroud's competition. I mean, there's only Erling Haaland that scored more Champions League goals in this season. So if he is a bit under the weather, that might answer a few questions. But what does the lineup that Thomas Tuchel has selected tonight tell you about his approach?
First of all, with Giroud, I thought it was an absolute stick-on, like a lot of people, because, as you say, he's had a great competition, and he generally does. But you need nous, you need, experience, Champions League knowledge, and he's got all of that with bucketfuls of it. So we might need him at some point tonight, and that may be the point. The game might not last 45 minutes; it might last 90 minutes. They tend to last at least that, so we might be needing those guys. But in the end, Kai's going to have to learn to play against some of the most rugged defenders there is. If he's playing up front, it might be Werner, of course, who's up front himself. They're all good enough. Ziyech is good enough. Havertz is good enough. Werner's good enough. If they bring their A games. And if they bring their A games, I have absolutely no worries. None at all. I'm not going anywhere down where Jason was going there. I'll be really excited. But I need them to have their A game. And that's the thing. And by the way, that's the way it should be. Champions League, get in the quarterfinals. You don't want to be able to waltz into that and have a look at what's waiting there for us, the quality of teams that are there. So this is where we want to be. That's where we want to be. And I still feel confident we'll be there.
Pat, I very rarely disagree with you, but I'd quite happily take an easy route and a 6-0 win and not worry about this at all. I would much rather that route, I think.
It doesn't happen.
None of us have gone for that, naturally, tonight on Play Predictor. If you haven't had your say, make sure you do get it in quite quickly. You could win a £100 Megastore voucher and a signed shirt if you top the leaderboard for tonight. All you need to do is get yourself to the Fifth Stand app and get your predictions in before 7 p.m. tonight to be in with a chance of winning. Obviously, you've seen the team sheets as well. On Saturday, Ebukwanola won from Nigeria, 60-point total. That's the kind of level you need to be competing at on a regular basis. Here's what we've gone for tonight. Myself, Jason and Zach all gone for 1-0. Pat's gone for a 2-1. Zach, now we've seen the team sheet. Obviously, we have to put us in a long time before we see any of this, any whispers at all. Would that have changed your prediction now you've seen the lineup?
Maybe more goals, to be quite honest. The Atleti side themselves have kind of changed formation. They look like they're playing four at the back. They're going to be trying to go for it, obviously, which means there's going to be more space in behind their defence. And when you've got Timo Werner playing, one of the best players in the world, using his pace to get into good situations. So there could be some fun there. I still think defensively we're going to be really well. I mean, Zuma came in against Everton and was fantastic. In for Rudiger that time. You assume him playing more in the middle in this one. But yeah, he was fantastic against Everton. It's going to be a tough game for the Chelsea defence, but this is the Champions League we're talking about. This is the games you live for. You want to be playing in this competition week in, week out. And whether it's Porto or Atletico Madrid or Real Madrid, you're going to be playing the best players from around Europe. So it doesn't matter who you come up against. You've just got to be on your A game, as Pat said. But it's going to be a corker, I think.
Well said, mate. Well said. Let's start with our hot topic one then, Jace, because this is important, and there's never any complacency when it comes to this level of competition. Because, like Zach's just pointed out, you're playing elite, you're playing the best teams in the world, you're playing the best players in the world. But it is very, very much so. The job's not done. You know, we have the advantage, we have the lead over the first legs. So tonight, what will be the message from Thomas Tuchel to his players?
Until 6:30.
Oh, well, I mean, there's so many messages
So I waited
to the lads today. The fact that we are now, I mean, it feels like there's been one or two adjustments late on. The Andreas one situation is clearly an obvious choice. I think the message there is keep things tight. First 20 minutes of the game, if this score is 0-0 after half an hour, I think we'll all be very happy with what we're looking at, right? So don't give them the early goal. The first goal is crucial. If they get the first goal, I think Simeone will look to that now, because they have so many more minutes to get that second goal, which clearly puts them in a favourable position. And I think from our point of view, if we get the first goal, nothing changes. They've got to score 2 goals if they're going to go through it in 90 minutes, of course. I just think keeping things nice and tight, nice and simple. And if there are moments, and if it does look like they're going to play a 4 at the back, and I'm surprised Giroud's not starting, if they're going to go into this first 45 minutes looking to get that goal, lay a marker down, I'd say if those opportunities present themselves, we've got to be more ruthless than we have been. Because against Leeds at the weekend, really, we had chances to win that game. And I know they had 1 or 2 chances themselves, not many. But I'd say, look, if those chances come along, if we get the first goal in this game, I think we go through. Okay? If they get it, then it's a very, very different scenario. So I think the message would be, keep things simple. Don't overcomplicate things. We do not need to throw men forward unwittingly. We do not need to throw men forward in a situation where we can get countered. We don't need to do that. Keep things nice and tight and make sure when the chances come, we're far more ruthless than we have been.
Obviously, the away goal, like Jason's pointed out, does give us a slight advantage in the fact that if Atletico Madrid do score tonight and we get a draw in any way, shape or form, it gives us... It doesn't quite change the message for them, does it? They need to score irrelevant of what we do first. You know, if we do get a goal, then it puts the onus on them to attack a little bit more. But in essence, they need to get something from tonight. So in terms of that, did you anticipate this setup from Chelsea? Did you anticipate perhaps to be a little bit more cautious and players to be selected as such?
Well, it's still 3-4-3, really, or 3-4-2-1. I mean, so it's the system that we've played and we've just not given away any goals. Now, in the simplest terms, if we don't give any goals away, we go through. It's not really, maybe it's as simple as that with his mind, and we haven't been shipping that many chances either, so it's really important that we do that. But this is adaptable. When you get to this level, it really has to be adaptable. What Jason's saying there is spot on, that you look at a game, it is totally different whoever scores the first goal. So you then need to be able to change. And that's when I look at, not only the other players in the field where they can change and adapt positions, but also what you can do from the bench. You can do amazing things from our bench. So that's why I've got that little bit of confidence about me. Generally, I'm looking through a team and I'm still very, very happy with it. I maybe have one concern. I really hope that we don't lose either Kanté or Kova just now, because we really need, I think Billy Gilmour was probably on the bench as well. But, it's a big call, them two in the middle there. We don't want to lose anyone in the Champions League at this level. So there's a lot of ifs, there's a lot of buts. There's going to be a lot more ifs or buts after 20 minutes and a lot more after 30 minutes. We've just got to ride with it, man. We've just got to live with it, and we've just got to bring the best game. I'm delighted that Reece James is playing, by the way. Really delighted. That's given us a bit more solidity down that right-hand side. And if he can bring his best and get some crosses in the box, we've got people in there. And I hope we can link up well with Ziyech. You know, that started well when they played together. It's maybe faded a wee bit. They need to link up well tonight.
So are we, Pax. We've done a piece of analysis on him later, so very, very pleased and very relieved that he's starting tonight. Ben, obviously we know the threat that Atletico Madrid pose in terms of Luis Suarez is the one that jumps off the page, but how do you anticipate they'll set up tonight? Are there any surprises in their lineup?
Well, like Zach, I think they're probably looking quite attacking. Carrasco back in, Renan Lodi's quite attacking on that left side. And Trippier, who had a 10-game ban, as you probably all know, he was back at the weekend. So was Carrasco and played, and so was Jimenez, important centre-half for them. None of those started the first leg. I keep thinking, I've got the same fears that I'm sure everybody has, that I can't believe they won't be a better side and produce a better performance than they produced in that first leg, because they weren't good. It wasn't just Chelsea stopping them. They didn't really perform. And I find it impossible to conceive of the Spanish league leaders being that poor again. So, you know, we've got that. And another thing I was just thinking about there, all this season we've talked about the depth of squad and how so many other clubs have had issues with it. And we've had all this strength on this bench behind me here all the time. Now we see it, don't we? Because in an absolutely ideal world, tonight, there'd probably be 4 people starting this match right now who aren't starting this match. Jorginho, Mason Mount, Giroud, and one of Christensen or Silva at the back. Ideally, I should think we probably all agree with that. None of them are playing. So this is where we see that strength in depth, and we say, come to the party.
Like Ben's saying there, Zach. I think we're all. I don't think we're doing anyone a disservice. I think we're all slightly confused, maybe a little bit disappointed with the Atletico Madrid performance from the first leg, because this is a Diego Simeone team. Like Ben's saying, they're league leaders in La Liga. You know, they've got Joao Felix, they've got Luis Suarez, they've got players that are capable of doing very, very special things. So I suppose there is a little bit of that today, and that's why we're all feeling a little bit more nervous this leg, because you go, well, we beat them in the first leg, but there's no way they can be like that. This is also a competition that Diego Simeone knows very, very well and is very well versed in getting results when he needs them. So what do you expect from them tonight? Will it be a different approach, or do you think perhaps from Simeone's perspective it will be very much a tactical ploy? Let's keep things quiet for a little while and then let's pose a threat when we need to.
I think for them, it's very good. It's very much they've got nothing to lose. If they don't score a goal, they're out. Why just sit back and defend for 60 minutes and then hope to get one in the next 30? It's too risky. And they're a team. They're playing. If they do play as 4-4-2 formation, which it kind of looks like it will be, then it's going to be similar to the game against Liverpool. And we saw how good they were against Liverpool, and really nullifying them and making sure that they got them on the counter attack. But that being said, as you said, the players have only just come back. That's my one kind of shining hope, is that they've had a little while up. Trippier has missed 10 matches. He's back into the starting lineup. So I'll be interested to see whether they're linking up quite as well as maybe it's being spoken about. However, again, on the other point of that, they are much better players than maybe the players that were facing us in the last leg. Trippier, when he wants to be, can be a fantastic right back. Some of his deliveries are brilliant. So it's kind of 50-50. I think, as you said, everyone's kind of not too sure what's going to happen. But just hope for the best, basically.
It's going to be one of those, isn't it, Jay? And you know, Atleti have done it here before. Let's not forget. You know, they've got a good pedigree in this competition, but they've also lost to lower league opposition in a knockout competition away from home this season. So there is that little bit about them, isn't there? There's still that unpredictability that good sides, you don't usually get that unpredictability when you know what to expect from a Real Madrid or a Barcelona when they turn up. And Atletico Madrid, usually, we mentioned it in the verse, they're almost mechanical, how they're always well-drilled, hard-working, difficult to break down, difficult to beat, but pose a threat. Tonight, there is that little seed in the back of your mind that go, I don't quite know what to expect from them. That makes them a little bit of a more worrying proposition, doesn't it?
I totally agree. This is not the best Atleti we've seen. I think we look back over the last 4 or 5 years, this Simeone side, they are playing a more attacking brand of football this season. Clearly, Barca and Real are off the pace, and clearly they have a nice gap at the top. So this is a season in which they will probably feel, and I would guess La Liga right now is far more achievable than the Champions League. Having said all of that, this is a competition that has eluded them, and they have come very close. to winning. I agree with you about the unpredictability about this side, because Simeone was, I felt, a creature of habit. Yeah, I've seen parts of the game at Atletico, only, of course, in the Champions League. I watched very little bits of, only highlights of La Liga. But I just wonder tonight whether we're going to see old-style Simeone. That's my fear, is that we're going to see this lineup, what he has done here. He knows he's got to get an away goal. He will look to do today a masterclass of what Simeone's sides can do. They will be falling over. They'll be chatting to the referee. They'll be looking to get anything in and around the box or the penalty area. All of that. The dark arts of football will be alive and well tonight. Make no mistake.
It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? I'm so looking forward to it, but I am very nervous at the same time. But I'll tell you what, let's have a little look at what the boss has had to say as he looks to guide Chelsea to the quarterfinals of the Champions League tonight.
Focusing on the Champions League, Thomas, and Atletico Madrid, it was such a big performance, such a big win over in Bucharest. How different do you expect the second leg to be?
Not so much of a difference. Honestly, I expect more or less the same game. Trippier comes back for Atletico. Carrasco comes back for Atletico, which gives them an enormous boost of quality on both wing-back positions. So we have to be aware of that. We have to deal with some yellow card suspensions with Mason and Jorginho, two key players for us. So we have to adapt to that and accept it, which we will do. But I don't think that the result changes a lot in their approach of the game, and it changes more or less nothing in our approach of the game. We will prepare the game to win it. And we will implement nothing else than details in the heads of the players and how we want them to behave, and to focus on the process and not focus on the result and what is enough and what is not enough. This is only distractions. If we want to make it, we need another top-class performance. We need our highest level. This is Atletico. This is halftime. Is 1-0. Okay, nothing is decided. And from there on we go. We have every right to be confident, and at the same time we are very aware of all the quality and have big respect. This is knockout in Champions League is highest level, and so is what we need is big performance.
You mentioned the level of the competition just then, Thomas. How impressed have you been with the level of the Champions League and how strong the competition has been this season?
Well, we had a super difficult group with Paris, including Man United and Leipzig, which was very, very difficult to overcome. And knockout is, it is about momentum. You know, you can, like, when you have the draw and when you have the games, it's two totally different dates and two different situations. Like, you can play against any team and in the knockouts, and if there are injuries, if there are suspended players, if there is like a lack of form, a lack of momentum, it can totally shift and the situation where you arrive. So we are very solid in the moment. We are full of confidence, which is well deserved. We know at the same time what input we deliver to have these performances, and I feel everybody ready to continue, and there is no other option than playing on your highest level, than putting in the highest effort, because this is the toughest competition in Europe, is the Premier League and the Champions League, and we are in both of them, and we want to play a big part of it. And if we can go through, if we can manage another top team performance and can go through, it will be definitely a huge boost for us. And this is the goal that we want to achieve.
So everybody is ready. And if we go through tonight, it will be a huge boost for the rest of the season. Those are the kind of motivations that we need, Zach. That's exactly it, though, isn't it? Tonight is such a big deal. If you get a result, it's such a knock-on effect for the rest of the season.
Oh, for sure. And it's on us. That's the thing as well, right? Like, touch wood, it doesn't go badly. But if it does, it's on us. Everything is within our hands here. We've got the advantage. We're 1-0 up. They've got to come and play us right now. We can play defensive. As we said, if we don't concede, we win. We're through. It's all on us. And if we do get the win for the rest of the season, it's brilliant. We've got an international break coming up very soon as well. So maybe some players can get a bit of fitness back if they've been playing a lot of games, or anyone that's injured can get back into the squad. And then it'll be about, thinking, okay, maybe the Champions League is possible. Maybe the next game, especially in a competition like this, it's all about the next game. You don't have to think too far ahead. It's play what's in front of you and deal with whatever happens later on. The positivity of progressing through is always going to have a knock-on effect for the league.
Well, Zach's dug deep for us through his Twitter sources, and he's seen that apparently Andreas Christensen was taken ill overnight, so he's unwell, which is why he's not involved today. But Pat, I suppose that falls into the next chat that we were going to have, which is about forced changes, because he's another name. Then obviously Mason Mount and Jorginho both suspended, so there is an opportunity tonight. Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, and Hakim Ziyech as a three is one that we've not seen a huge amount, especially under Thomas Tuchel. I'm not sure if we've seen it at all, especially not starting a game together. The first time that I think they've started together as a three, but it's going to be a big night for those three tonight, isn't it?
I just hope they can link up well. And it's all about linking. It's all about understanding, the abilities of the player around you. Sometimes you have it that players that you expect to work well together don't, and sometimes they do. I remember earlier on in this season when Mason Mount moved over beside Callum, and it just looked genius together. And I didn't see that coming. And it may well be that you get one of them tonight that they can work together. I've got real belief in that these players are good enough. As well, they're good enough for tonight. The other thing is, you look at those central defenders, Savic and Jimenez, they're not sweet guys, right? Okay, they're going to go and they're going to tackle and they're going to hit and they're not going to be pleasant to play against. And you've got to be really standing up for that. So we need the hard kind, the one that Kai Havertz played against Everton, the one that looked strong, that looked powered up again after his illnesses. We need him. I think Timo's okay with that sort of stuff. I don't think he minds, and especially if he's running from the back. The other thing which will be intriguing is, what do we think? Will it be Kai further forwards or will it be Timo further forward of them? It's a tough one to call that one, and it may well be if we just adapt it. We do one, and then we change it at another point in the game. So I've just got real confidence that if this opposition come on to us, and what we're saying about their two fullbacks, both of them like to go forward, we may well find that there is a little bit of a gap to run into there. And we're playing 2 10s, and they will make good use of that gap. So tactically, it might not be the worst situation for us to play against that 4 at the back.
And just carrying on from what Pat was saying there, because it's definitely an intriguing thought as who's going to be the furthest forward out of Timo or Kai. You'd assume it's going to be one of those two, but who do you see being the furthest forward tonight?
Well, in terms of the fact that we presume there won't be as much space to play in behind as you might have against a non-Simeone team, it does. To be honest, I'm still a little bit flummoxed by it, which is why there must be a little bit of that truth to the Giroud unwell story. But I guess just Werner, but probably as the furthest forward. I don't know, that space in there. Kieran Trippier, I was pointing there earlier because do you remember he scored an own goal down there for Spurs?
Yeah.
Hopefully he might do that. He might do that again. He's had some bad times here. Hopefully that'll come back on him tonight. I don't know, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, the sort of speed of it. I just hope, we were hoping so much that Havertz would have, when's he going to have that breakthrough game? And he had it against Everton. I want it to be Ziyech tonight. I know he had some breakthrough games and he scored on his debut and he scored on his Premier League debut. And back in the autumn, he was just looking, oh my God. And he needs to do it again, doesn't he? And maybe can tonight be the night that he has his Havertz against Everton moment? And then hopefully, wherever he plays. One other question for you. Jorginho, Mount, Giroud, who's going to take penalties?
Timo.
So it's either Timo, who missed his last one against Luton and said he didn't want to take another until he'd scored some goals, or I'm going Marcos Alonso. He should take penalties, shouldn't he? He might be the best finisher at the club.
I've got Azpilicueta first goal score and play predictor, so I'll give it to the captain's armband. He's got a pull rank on this one, I think.
No, I'll take anyone. As long as we get a
step up.
penalty, I'll take it. If we get a penalty, I'll take it.
I didn't even mean in the shootout, by the way, although that's a different
We're not going that far. We're not going that far, Ben. Definitely no chance. There's plenty more build-up, of course, to the second leg of Chelsea versus Atletico Madrid at the Bridge. But before that, let's take a look at the manager's press conference from yesterday in full.
Thomas, first of all, what kind of game are you expecting it to be tomorrow? Do you think it will be very tense and very tactical? Or where do you think it will be won and lost?
For me, I expect more or less the same match like in Bucharest against Atletico. They have Trippier, Jimenez and Carrasco back. That changes a little bit the structure, a little bit the style of attacking, because gives them the freedom to attack with Carrasco and Trippier on the side and have maybe Lemar, but for sure Llorente available on the half positions. That changes a bit the approach to this game. But in general, I expect more or less the same. A team which is hard to play against, a team which is hard to find spaces behind the lines and behind the last lines, and for sure super hard to create chances. And it's the same big challenge for us, like in the first leg. But we did an amazing match there, and we want to repeat the same performance to be able to go through. We know how hard it is to beat Atletico, but this is exactly our target.
This is Hakim Ziyech.
Hi Thomas. Wanted to ask you, your defence has been credited with their performances lately, but you've got 3 defenders with their contracts running down a little bit. What's your stance on getting involved in contract decisions with Christensen, Rudiger and Thiago Silva in the future?
Well, first of all, this is maybe the worst moment to talk about, because it's one day before for a big match, an important match. Of course, we know, everybody knows about like you say, the situation of the 3 players. All 3 players performed on a super high level, very, very reliable. This is the most important, and from there on, we will take the decisions in the club, and then we will communicate when the decision is taken. But it's not a secret, and it's obvious that all 3 performed outstanding. And Thiago is missing now since many weeks, unfortunately, which is too long, because we miss him a lot. But Andreas and Tony did a fantastic job so far, and we have to keep on going like this, and then the rest will be solved.
Diego Plaza. Unmute yourself, Diego. Unmute yourself. Okay.
Sí, ahora sí. Diego Plaza del Chiringuito. ¿Le sorprendió la...
Were you surprised by the view that Atletico Madrid were excessively defensive in the first leg? Are you expecting a much more offensive performance from Atletico this game?
Well, I believe that every club has its DNA, and every club has its characteristic. And with Diego Simeone, Atletico became one of the toughest teams to beat in Europe over years and years and years. So this is their characteristic. They rely on a disciplined, hard-working, super organized defense. At the same time, they have incredible quality to attack and to play also a possession game. For me, it's a very complete squad, and you have to be aware of everything. They are able to press high, they are able to defend low, they are able to play ball possession, but in most of the games they rely on a hard-working defense. So this is the characteristic of the club, this is the characteristic of the coach. I don't think that the result from 1-0 changes too much in the approach in the beginning of the game, and then all the teams have to adapt to the questions that are asked, and it can change within seconds. We know it like it is in football. One goal can change everything. One decision from the referee, a bit of luck or a bit of no luck can change the whole momentum. And we need to be aware of everything, and we need to be very, very focused, very concentrated on us, and still be ready to adapt to all situations. This is the challenge on this level and against a team like Atletico.
James Watson.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
I know it's very early in your Chelsea career, but I just wonder how conscious you are of the importance of getting silverware in terms of ensuring that you're here for the long term, if you like. And also, if you were to beat Atletico Madrid, one of the best teams, hardest teams in Europe, would that, in your mind, prove that Chelsea could actually win this whole competition?
Every team that plays a second leg in a quarter, in a round of 16 is there to win the competition. There is no doubt about it. Both teams can win the competitions. Every team in the last 16 can win the competition. This is proven in the last years, and this is how we respect the competition, and this is what we are in for. We are in for to win this game, and it helps. It does not help to think more than only this one game. If I'm aware to bring in silverware, yeah, of course. I'm here to win games and to push the team into the right momentum, that the players are competing as a team, and that this team can win games in consecutive games. This is my job, and you're never safe, never totally safe as a coach. This is a given. We won some silverware in France, and still it came to an end. So I cannot lose my head about this. I feel very happy. I can just repeat the status for me and myself. I feel very happy and I'm very grateful to be part of this club. It feels it's very natural to be here, and I feel as a big part of also of the team. I like how the team plays. I like how we fight together and how we compete together. And this is what we will do. And if we do it like we did it so far, every three days, we are able to win games consecutive. And this is what I'm here for. So I need to get my job done, and the players need to get their job done. And I have to put them in the right mindset and in the right flow and the right momentum, and to choose and to make important decisions. And from there on, they go. And this is what we do. And hopefully we can continue like this, but there is no need to hold us back.
Matt Law, Daily Telegraph.
Hi Thomas, you okay?
Yeah.
Can I first of all just check whether you have any injuries for tomorrow night, and also you obviously have Jorginho and Mason Mount suspended.
Yeah.
They've scored 6 of your 13 goals in your 12 games so far.
Yeah.
So I wonder whether that is a worry for the goal scoring for tomorrow night.
Yeah, a little bit, of course. Two key players for us, especially also Mason for his offensive skills and his power offensive-wise to break the lines with dribblings, with shots, but it's a small line between argumentation and excuse. You know this very well. So they were important players so far, and we have a group with which we compete in this competition. And so now is the challenge to adapt and to find solutions, because it's obvious that we need to play without the two guys. We also need to play without Thiago Silva and Tammy Abraham. No more injuries. Yeah. So we miss 4 players. That makes the selection easy, because we can choose 20 field players, and we will use the whole squad, and we can do 5 substitutes during a match, and we have a clear idea of what we want to do and how we want to to create chances. But we are very aware that Atletico is one of the teams to give away the fewest chances in whole Europe. So it's very likely that we have to be patient and play with intensity at the same time, and to keep this level constantly going. This is the key for tomorrow.
Nick Pure.
Hey Thomas, just on Tammy and Thiago, are you any closer to knowing when they might be back fit?
Well, with the national break now coming, I think I don't take too much risk when I say after the national break they will be rejoining. This is the clear plan.
Alistair McGowan.
Hi Thomas.
Hi.
You spoke on Saturday a little bit about how you think your strikers could score more goals from a technical point of view.
Yeah.
I just wondered whether they would benefit from a consistency of selection to boost their confidence.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe, and this then is clearly my fault, and I take this responsibility for also for changing. But at the same time, if we put a goalkeeper in goal, we expect him also to perform in this very match. And if we put the defensive lineup, we expect the lineup to play with a clean sheet in the first match, and not only every 3 matches. If you arrive in elite level football, if you arrive on the highest level, if you play for Chelsea, there is no time. There is no time to perform. The time, it simply does not exist. And you're constantly in a competition with other players in your team on a friendly and a very respectful basis, but there is no time. There is no time to get 4, 5, 6 matches in a row until you can score regularly. This simply does not exist, and this is not a secret. This is a given, and so we're trying to put them in a good mindset. We are pushing them. We are working hard against the ball with the whole team. So this is also a point. We did some changes because we needed to adapt, and the results are not so crazy bad that we should now ask ourselves like if we do everything wrong here. And the team also, we create enough touches in the box, we create enough chances and half chances to win games, and we had by far enough chances and half chances and touches in the box in Leeds and deliveries in Leeds to win this game very comfortable with 2 goals ahead. This is no problem, but we need to be more precise. We need to focus better on our decision making and on the technique, how to finish. And these are the points where we work on, and where our strikers are very aware of that, and they have the highest demands of themselves. And we are not pointing fingers. Nobody. No, just to make this clear, we inside here in Cobham, we blame nobody for nothing, but we speak out the points very clearly, what we do, where we are good, and what we can improve, and we can clearly improve in finishing. Point.
Okay, last 2 questions, Moose, and then Andy Dillon to finish. Moose.
Hi Thomas, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine.
It's kind of the 2 questions in one really. First of all, big advantage playing at the Bridge tomorrow because Liverpool and Man City both had to play their home games away in Europe. And secondly, do you consider yourselves one of the favourites to win the whole tournament with Juventus out and Barcelona out?
Even if I would answer that question, yes, what would it change for tomorrow? Nothing. So this is not for me. It's not the question. Is absolutely okay for you to ask the question, but there's no way I will answer it, because I can only think until tomorrow evening, 2000 to play this game. Like I said, we have big respect because we play against the leaders in Spain. We have done an outstanding job in Bucharest. We have the advantage to have a home game at Stamford Bridge, which makes us very confident, which is very good for us because we don't have to travel. The setup is the usual setup. This is good for us. We feel happy to be in our hotel before to have the same schedule like in normal games. This is very, very good, and we want to have, maybe this is the decisive the decisive percentage even for tomorrow that is on our side. But I'm very, very sure that we need another top performance, that we need to be very, very focused and concentrated. At the same time, we want to play a high-intensity match because we are used to play high-intensity matches, and we want to be hungry to score. And at the same time enjoy this competition and do what is needed to win a big match like this. And for that you have to play with hunger, and you have to play aggressive, and you have to play very, very high level as a team. And this is the target for tomorrow. What happens in the tournament and in the competition is out of our hands. We do what we can influence, and this is the game tomorrow.
Last question, Andy Dillon.
Hi Thomas,
Hi.
how are you?
Good.
Good. I just wondered, I keep reading stories that about Timo Werner. I keep reading that he's not happy. I keep reading that he may be on his way back to Germany. If I'd read it once...
Stop reading.
There's speculation, but I keep reading it.
Stop reading. Stop reading.
I've only just learned.
Stop reading. What do you read? Read a book. It's better, read a book.
I'm reading a book on Timo Werner.
Yeah, there is no book about Timo Werner, so read a book. It's better.
Okay, I do when I'm off duty. I do, but I just wonder if you could tell us. Is he happy? How confident are you he'll still be at Chelsea next season? Because I keep reading stories that he could be going in the summer, and that Chelsea have a history of strikers who've not settled very well. And also, if I may just throw in at the end as well, just your reaction to Kerr not getting into the Spain squad, and what that means for him and for Chelsea, please.
For him, is pretty sure for Kepa is a disappointment to not be selected right now. I just heard it some hours ago. That is clear. But like I said before, he is super strong here. He is our player, and we cannot. It does not influence like we work with him and how we trust him and if we trust him and how we keep on going. This is his personal goal to be in the squad of Spain. Would it be easier if he plays on a regular basis? Yes, clearly yes. But it's not about his personal objective. It's about Chelsea. And we have set the communication straight between our goalkeepers that Edu is the number one and he's the competitor for that. And he has to be ready, and I can just say he is exactly doing this. He is 100% reliable, top guy, top goalkeeping, top performance in training together with Willy Caballero. This is outstanding. Does by the way not help our strikers because it's so super hard to score in training because of our goalkeepers, and then we end up with maybe with Timo Werner. So this is what he can do. Can we influence the decision from the Spanish national coach? No, we cannot. Everything he can do is focused and be ready, and this is what he's doing, and that's why I'm super happy with him. For Timo, I think he has no reason now to be frustrated because he did an amazing match against Liverpool, maybe his best match since I arrived. Then he had a good match against Everton with a lot of chances to score, which he normally is clinical enough and strong enough. He did not score. Okay, this sticks in a situation like this. This can affect his self-confidence, yeah, of course. But what does it help? I mean, I have the clear advice from us is don't focus on the result, focus on the process, get your decision-making right, get your technique right, take good decisions. For the decision, take the right technique, and the rest, the ball will do the rest. And the ball and the opponent's goalkeeper will do the rest. And then is in, or he does an amazing save, okay. And he can improve from there, but there is simply no time to reflect on what is going to be in summer and next year and next year. There's simply no time. And in the moment, I don't see why he should be frustrated. We gave him a little bit of time to breathe against Leeds. It was hard for him to come on, so was not too much involved in the last 20 minutes because it was not our best game. But right now, I mean, I don't see why he should be too frustrated. And honestly, it's like I said in an answer before, we are not here. Nobody here is blaming the strikers. this is a team effort to attack, and this is a team effort to defend. But we expect our guys to create more chances, to be more decisive. Yes, because we expect the defenders to play on their highest level. So we expect also our strikers. And in the end, it's my responsibility to put them in the right mindset, in the right positions, to let them play regularly. And from there on we go. And then maybe all the stuff that you read will be hopefully disappear soon.
Chelsea host Atletico Madrid in southwest London tonight after an Olivier Giroud stunner in Bucharest a fortnight ago. The Blues have the advantage with a quarter-final place on the line. Here is the team that Thomas Tuchel has selected for Atletico Madrid tonight. In goal, Eduard Mendy, a back three, captained by Cesar Azpilicueta alongside Kurt Zouma and Antonio Rudiger. Reece James, Marcos Alonso, N'Golo Kanté, Mateo Kovacic, Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Slightly smaller bench for Chelsea tonight with Kepa Arrizabalaga, Willy Caballero, Christian Pulisic, Olivier Giroud, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Ben Chilwell, Billy Gilmore, Emerson and Tino Anjorin. Now, what you won't have seen is the last 30 or 40 seconds before we come on air of Jason Cundy shouting down the camera. Jay, I've never seen you like this before a game. Like, you usually you're a bundle of energy. You're bouncing off the walls, which we're very much seeing this tonight. And we've all said privately, quite thankful we're not in the same room as you. But you are very, very. You are feeling it tonight, mate. And what can we do? What can we do to put you at ease?
There's nothing you can do because this is real. There's something about this that the Champions League carrot of quarterfinals is there. We can all see it. And this is different to Leeds. This is different to Sheffield United. This is totally different. This is enormous for us. Look, the next 4 or 5 days for us is our season hinges on this. We're not going to win the title. We're out the League Cup. We've got the Champions League, which we've got an advantage in. As slender as it is, but we have an advantage. And then, of course, we've got Sheffield United at home at the weekend. And I've seen so many seasons that we've gone deep in competitions where the first time we went out of a competition under Jose was the season we got knocked out. I think was when we got knocked out on penalties at Anfield. And it was the first time we went out of a competition. We won the League Cup. We were still in the FA Cup. And our season just kind of changed from there on in. So I know how important this game is for a number of reasons. I'm nervous because it's the Champions League. I'm nervous because it's Simeone Atleti. There's so much at stake here today. It's just how big this is. It's enormous. This, that's all. That's all.
Mate, we're all with you 100%. We genuinely are. And honestly, if we could be there to lend a shoulder to ease you on, we would. But it'll be all right tonight. It'll be all right. And the reason I'm feeling a lot more confident now because we've had a little chat about it, and we're going with 2 to watch tonight rather than a 1 to watch. And I think this is an area where we are going to turn the tables tonight. This is where the game will be won and lost for me. Pat, I want to talk to you about N'Golo Kanté and Mateo Kovacic, the 2 playing in the double 6 role. Obviously, Jorginho suspended. Kanté and Kov, we've seen play together on the Tuchel against Man United and Southampton. Manchester United especially. Bruno Fernandes, for example, didn't get a kick because these two were so good on the night. These are 2 elite, world-class players. If they weren't playing for Chelsea tonight, they'd be playing for another team in the knockout stage of the Champions League. That's how good they are. And how impressed and how confident do you feel with those 2 in the middle of the park?
I'm very confident start of the game. Very confident first half. I don't know if I really want that to last all the way 120 minutes because Kova puts so much effort in, doesn't he? It's an extraordinary amount of effort he puts in. And N'Golo puts the same amount and more in, but he's not actually human. He actually never gets tired. So he's different slightly for them, right? Whereas Kova, he will put so much in that he might wear out a little bit. So I want us to get this done in 90 minutes purely for that. But as a duo in the middle, I have no concerns at all. I think they're perfectly good enough. I think it doesn't really matter because Jorginho, either of them, was absolutely fine as well. Really, really comfortable with that. But as you say, looking at that, who's on the subs bench for us, I'm not saying it's getting slender, but it's not quite what it was before. So we could do with, getting out of this, getting through this, not necessarily having the extra 30 minutes or so, But those two, good enough? Absolutely. No worries about it at all. Another thing maybe you have to add to that, the way we've got the players in front of them tonight, the two wing backs who like to get forward, do you know what, cover? You don't need to spend all the time flying forward. In goal, you don't need to fly forward all the time. You can manage that a little bit more. And the fact that we score.
Or we're losing you a little bit, Pat. It seems to be jumping in and out for a second.
It's not a great.
Yeah, we keep losing you, keep jumping in. I know it's very busy at Stamford Bridge tonight. We've seen already the amount of additional press and people that are using the Wi-Fi. So we'll come back to you in a second. Zach, just on that, because Pat's 100% right, in terms of the differing role and the allowance and the freedom that N'Golo Kanté gives you. I know you'll have been in the same position as I am in terms of when you get off the tube or you get out of the car and you're walking up towards Stamford Bridge on a night like tonight, the lights are on, you get that sense of difference. For me, the first thing that I'd have done tonight, I'd have looked at the lineup and I'd have gone, N'Golo Kanté's in there. Okay, that's made me feel 5 or 10% extra. Because in big nights, when you've got someone that's got the energy to run for 7 hours straight if need be, and from minute 1 to minute 90, he's going to be pressing high, he's going to be doing things that are brilliant with the ball and recovering it everywhere. Someone like him tonight plays a huge role in a normal game, but in a game like tonight with the gravity and what's at stake, like Jason's already pointed out, having him in the side gives everyone around him a boost, surely.
Yeah, I think Pat kind of said it perfectly. He's an alien. He's superhuman. It's ridiculous. And I think sometimes it gets to the point with N'Golo Kanté that we are so used to seeing him do this week in, week out, that we actually forget how crazy the amount of interceptions, the amount of tackling, the amount of bombarding forward and backwards and chasing down the ball, the amount of yards he's putting in all the time. I mean, we've seen it now for so many years, consistently in a Chelsea shirt. And touchwood, his fitness-wise has always been pretty good. I know last year he was in and out a little bit, but this year he's come back and absolutely smashed it. And it's mad, I think, because he's not getting any younger now. I think he's in his 30s. I think he's 30 or getting into his 30s. And yeah, it's so incredible to watch week in, week out. And I know obviously a lot of praise goes to forwards and strikers, and because they score you the goals, right? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, all these icons, Lewandowski, that do crazy, crazy things. But sometimes I think we actually have to sit there and go, look at N'Golo Kanté. This man continuously and consistently puts in a minimum 8 out of 10 performances. Against Leeds, okay, we weren't that great maybe on scoring, but he was brilliant. Every single game, I'm always amazed by him, and he's yet to make me sit there and go, oh, didn't notice N'Golo Kanté today. You notice him every single game, and for sure the Atletico Madrid midfield attack will be seeing a lot of him.
Absolutely right, mate. We're going to try and get Pat back. So while we do, let's remind ourselves of how we've put ourselves in a very good position to get to the quarterfinal tonight. That magnificent performance a couple of weeks back in Bucharest.
Chelsea, highly impressive and unbeaten group winners, entering the knockouts. A tougher draw than Atletico Madrid, the league leaders in Spain. Suarez typically has wriggled away with ball at feet. That's awkward! And it could easily have been 1-0. Lamar on the slide, the angle just too tight for him. He's slippery, isn't he? Here's Mount. That's a brilliant ball. Timo Werner needed just a bit more on it. And here's Lamar. There's Azpilicueta. And Joao Felix goes for something spectacular to brighten up this cagey affair. In from Alonso. Oh, it nearly fell for Giroud. It did for Mount. And then Giroud! Yeah! Oh, what a goal! Offside. Oh, no, it's not going to count.
I think it has taken a long time over Ben. I thought it was a simple one, this.
The issue may or may not be beyond that. You are joking.
Well,
it must have come off an Atletico player.
It's a good ball.
Werner onside for now. He's got no help. He'll have to do it himself. It's a very tight angle. It's all you can do is absolutely leather it and hope. Blow your whistle. Advantage Chelsea at half-time in this last 16 tie. For once, we say, thank goodness for VAR. Away goal stands, and what a goal, and what a team performance.
So Pat's just having a few technical difficulties. We're going to try and get him back, but if not, obviously he's on commentary duty, so we might let him go and get set a little bit earlier. Let's talk about our hot topic 3 for tonight then, which is, can we win the UEFA Champions League? Jace, there's a reason I'm asking this question, and it's, I suppose, an overall arching point, because we all know tonight's still massively in the balance. You've got to then get a nice draw. You could come up against a really tough team. I think the perspective more is the squad that we've got together, the manager that we have in place, are they capable of going on and winning the Champions League?
Look, the year we won it in 12, if you look back over the years that we didn't but should have won it, that was not the best, strongest Chelsea squad that won the Champions League. The best side does not always win the Champions League. I think it's fair to say that Bayern were the best side in Europe when they won it. Liverpool were very, very close. But I've seen Champions League been won by sides that Porto, us, where the best side in Europe hasn't won it. And I think you do need a little bit of luck. You do need to put in performances at times where you don't see it going your way. Barcelona away in 12, we went down to 10 men. Ramirez has got that chance. You know, how many more chances do we have to score throughout that game? I don't remember too many. It's a one-off. If he hits it too softly, goes at the keeper's arms, he overhits it, it probably goes over the bar. Can we win it? Yes. Are we the best side in the Champions League right now? No. It's as simple as that. So there's a number of factors involved. It's moments in time. It might be a refereeing decision. Look at tonight, for example. We've got players missing through illness and suspension and injury. So, you know, our squad and team tonight is not the best Chelsea side that we could put out today. But we've got to dig deep. These lads that have come in today is part of this Chelsea squad, and they've got to put in a performance to make sure that we get over the line tonight. And I'm not looking for excuses over that, but there are so many factors in a cup competition, especially one the size of this, and especially when you're up against the creme de la creme. And if you look at who's left in it, and Bayern went through tonight, look who's in it. We're talking some of the biggest clubs in European football history. So can we win it? Yes. Are we the favourites? No.
Pat, just carrying on from that, because everything that Jason's saying is spot on in terms of you need a little bit of luck. You don't have to be the best team in cup competitions. We've seen that before. That happens, every single season. That is the reason that the same team doesn't sweep up and win everything every single year. You do need those little bits and pieces. In terms of the players that we've got, that perhaps we're seeing for the first time on this level for Chelsea, especially. Obviously, Hakim Ziyech has gone deep with Ajax. Kai Havertz has played for Bayer Leverkusen in Champions League. Timo Werner for RB Leipzig. The players that we've recruited in the last year or so, they've got experience at this level. Even for younger players, they have experience. They have the caliber to step up to these big occasions. I suppose tonight is almost an underline of if we can win it or not, because in the back of your mind, if you get through two legs against the Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid side, in the back of your mind, you're going, why can't it be us?
Do you know, you're right, but they are young, and if you look at most teams when they're trying to win the Champions League, it takes a while because there's a lot to learn. I give you Manchester City. Look how hard it's been for them. They've had so many brilliant players and brilliant teams over the last number of years. They still haven't won it yet. And it just so happens that it takes a long time to learn these things. But now and again, you get a run. You get a lucky run all the way through. And that's brilliant. Jason makes a point there about not always the best team wins. And he's absolutely right. And that is a perfect description of Diego Simeone's teams over the years, particularly with Europa League. They've got there when they've not been the best team, but they have managed it well because they've had the nous, they've had the sense of, and that's a big help. And we've not got that to their level tonight, but it still doesn't mean that we'll lose the game or we won't get through it. I really have great belief in the group of players we have. I just want them to stand up to it. I want Reece to be the best Reece James, and he's not been as as productive as he was before. Ben and I are chatting about it. Ben knows better than I do about it because he sees him every single week, in the flesh usually. And it's extraordinary the difference there. So we need to get the best out of Reece coming forward, adding something. Alonso will give you any time. But those front three, it's up to them. Step out and be your best tonight. And we will win. I am absolutely comfortable we'll win. Win the Champions League, well, we'll talk about that next week.
Pat, I'm going to let you go and get set for commentary. Thank you for that. And you've also mentioned about Reece James, which we know is a position where Thomas Tuchel's like to rotate a wing back. Whoever has played in that role has done themselves justice. Reece James is no exception. Let's have a look.
I think most Chelsea fans would agree that Reece James has been a phenomenon since he has come into the Chelsea team. The power and the pace is incredible, but he doesn't panic. Against Sadio Mane here, gets the ball but doesn't just kick it away, wants to keep control of it. Don't go to ground, they often say to the fullbacks. Doesn't matter when you're Reece James because your timing's so good against top players. Doesn't care. Go in hard, but timing, perfection. But it's this unwillingness to panic. Gets the ball, don't kick it away. Just make sure you got control of it. I'm okay, I'm calm, I'll dribble out. It is absolutely magnificent. But if in trouble, don't take any chances. Just play it up the line and be comfortable with it. I like this sort of stuff. Comfortable on the ball, moving past players, but not just giving it away. The space, I'm going to drive into it, and drive into it, and drive into it, and have a shot. And he is going to score many more goals in his career. Once again here, he hits the ball. When he hits it, it tends to stay hit. He has been magnificent since he's got in this team, and he'll be here for years.
Zach, let's talk about Reece James, because every time we see Reece, there's another reason to be impressed by him. You know, I think my favourite thing about Reece is the maturity levels that he's shown and that he's seen. Because again, we're talking about a fullback that's only really in his second full season in the Premier League. You know, and the way that he's being spoken about, the levels that he's reaching, he's being spoken about as the best fullback in the league, which I think rightly so. You know, he's played 29 games this season. His attacking prowess we know about. You know, we could sit here and talk about his delivery from wide areas, the threat he poses from set pieces, but defensively, I think this year we've seen a lot more from him in terms of his, not just his athletic ability, but his ability to read the game as well. What have you been most impressed with from Reece James this year?
You know what? Last year especially, I think it probably went a little bit under the radar. Just actually how good of a season he had. Especially as he was playing right back. I know now if Tuchel would play with the wing back system, it's a little bit different. But as you said, attacking wise, we know about him. Defensively, he's reading the game much better. I think last season there were times where he would maybe charge into tackles, and because he's a big guy, he's a strong guy for sure, and knows how to use his body really well. And sometimes would do that. He'd charge into tackles, and sometimes he'd get beat maybe a little bit too easily. Whereas this season, he seems to have maybe calmed down a little bit defensively and has started reading the game really well and knowing, actually, I shouldn't go over to this guy when I've not got no one maybe to cover me, or just knowing kind of being aware about what's around him, and also picking the right option for his pass as well. When he's in, say, getting crowded and he's getting pressed by the opposition, he's picking the perfect pass, whether that's to Kanté, whether it's at the centre-back, whether it's down the line. It seems to work, and he's really... he's really come along. I think, again, maybe a bit more of another underrated season. Under Lampard, he was really flourishing. Now with the right wing-back situation, it's a little bit different. But, I mean, Tuchel must be so happy to kind of go into that when he joined the side and look at all the young options he had and looked at Reece James and said, wow, what a player this guy is. The future's so bright for him, not only for Chelsea, but also for England. That right-back spot could theoretically be his. It's going to really be him or Trent.
Well, Jace, I wanted to ask you about that because as fans, we expect every footballer to have two pictures up on their wall, one playing for the team they support with the captain's armband on and the other doing the same for England. But when you're in the position that Reece James is, that the way he's playing, you know, he's looking to nail down that right wing-back spot for Chelsea. Do you have one little eye on the Euros? Do you think I want to be making that squad? Or is it a case of you focus on week to week, you play game by game? Or do you think that far ahead?
What makes you think I know the answer about?
Oh, no, don't put yourself. No, don't have that. No.
I think one takes care of the other. Really, I mean, for Reece to be in that England squad, he's got to do it for Chelsea, and he's an exceptional talent, the boy. But he hasn't even nailed down the right wing back position for Chelsea. I mean, you can look at a Chelsea team and make a very good case to say he doesn't start because Callum has got that berth, and it would appear that maybe Gareth is, at the moment, stuck between whether he plays 3 or a 4. If he plays a 4, Reece has got a chance. If he plays a 3, Reece has got a chance. But he has to make sure he takes care of business. And tonight, Gareth Southgate will be looking very closely about what his young England players will be doing in this comp and in Europe, whether it be Man United, whether it be Arsenal, whoever it might be. Because this is a little look at what you can expect going into the summer. This is a test. This is a different test. This is not going to be your average Premier League game. This is a tactical. And he has got to himself. There are going to be moments in the game where he has got to make decisions for himself. Does he go? Because he, as a player, naturally, he is an attacking force. He loves to get forward. He enjoys that part of the game. That doesn't always necessarily make us the right choice. So I think it's a big game for him. Choose and pick your moments when it's right. You do not want to get caught out of position. You do not want to be in an advanced area with there's a transition of play. Carrasco on that left-hand side maybe gets a little bit more space and we concede an opportunity. So I think to answer that question in truth is that he's very young. He's still learning this trade. He's still got so much more to learn. But these are the tests internationally that he will now look forward to the Euros. But these are the games that Gareth will be looking at going, where is Reece? His decision-making with and without the ball.
Zach, very quickly then, we are approaching kickoff. So who have you got as first goal scorer? You've only got one goal tonight, same as I. So who have you gone for the first goal scorer?
God, I'll take anyone, mate. I'll be honest. Alonso. I think,
I think that's a good shout. I like that one. And Jace, finally, mate, have we eased your fears a little bit? Are you feeling a lot more confident heading into it?
No, same.
All right.
As nervous now as I was as we started.
I've had enough here. No. That's fine, mate. It's cool. Not a problem at all. That's all from us ahead of kickoff. We'll be back at half-time, of course. Up next is live commentary as we take on La Liga leaders for a place in the last 8. Come on, you Blues.
Come on, boys.